Hi FlossTube, it's Lorna the Ladybird Stitcher. Today is Wednesday the 17th of May. Today my daughter is still awake. She's just in the next room watching a video. If I wait for her to have a nap, it may never happen. The naps are starting to sort of phase out now, so I can't wait for that to happen anymore. So hopefully we won't be interrupted too many times, but if she does come in I might just edit that bit out, but we'll see how it goes. I hope that if you're a mum you had a really happy Mother's Day on Sunday, if that's what you celebrate. We went to Brisbane this weekend and we had a really good time. Brisbane's in Queensland, which is the next state north, and I might just put some clips at the end of the animals we saw. We saw some native animals, native Australian animals, because we went to a koala reserve, and yeah, I'll put some photos of that if you're interested, but I'll leave them right till the end. Anyway, I hope everyone's had a really good month so far. My stitching, I know last month I mentioned that I would work on every one of my whips. That didn't happen. I was working on Some Enchanted Evening and I was hoping to finish that by the end of April. We got to the 30th of April and I knew I wasn't going to be able to finish it that day. On the 1st of May I was working on it pretty diligently and got a fair bit done, but I knew that I'd probably need another couple of days on it. And then on the 2nd of April I was struck down with food poisoning and I was out for 2.5 days. I was probably close to being unconscious. It was really bad. No stitching. All I did was pretty much, after being sick, I was pretty much sleeping the whole time. I lost about 3 kilos. It's not a recommended way of losing weight, but that happened. So yeah, that kind of put off my mania plans quite significantly, unfortunately. But what I decided to do was I decided to make May a finishing month. So I finished up a lot of my projects that were kind of hanging around and that had been hanging around for a while. So the first one I finished was my Hade Story Keep Some Enchanted Evening. This is what it looked like the last time you saw it. And here it is now. That's all done. So I started this in February 2016. It was a restart. I had originally started it and I was originally doing 2/1 full crosses on 25 count. It was 25 count linen, and it became really bulky, and linen I wouldn't recommend. My personal opinion is that linen is probably not a good idea for that makes no sense, I'm sorry. Linen is probably not a good idea for full coverage, in my opinion, just because the stitches weren't obviously the same sort of, not the same size, but the way linen is, it's pretty uneven, and full coverage, I just thought the stitches were slipping a lot and it just didn't work for me. 2/1 on 25 count I found was really bulky. It worked for a while, but then I was starting to find it really hard to get the needle through the stitches, especially where there was a lot of confetti. I did post on the Heaven and Earth Facebook group and asked what other people did to help them with the 2/1 on 25 count, and they said that you need a really small needle. And you know, I tried that for a while, but I was in pain, just trying to force the needle through my work. I was actually getting a really sore finger, so I decided to restart it. I was probably only about up to there, I'd say. So I threw that piece of linen out and restarted it on 25 count Lugana 1/1. The coverage is fine. I mean, if you look at it closely, you may see some white, but honestly, I'm really happy with it. That's it. That's what it looks like now. from far away you can see it looks fine. Yes, if you look at it really closely you may see some white come through. So the coverage isn't as good as 2/1, but I think 1/1 is fine, and it's probably my preferred full coverage way of working, I'd say. So 25 count Lugano 1/1. I do have one full coverage piece at the moment that's on 18 count 2/1, and that's my Cinderella on the Stairs, which looks like this. I haven't worked on that this month, but that's the only one I'm doing on 18 count. My others, I've got 3 others, or 2 others, 2 others now, full coverage pieces, and they are all on, the other 2 are on 25 count Lugano 1/1, and that's going to be my, I think from now on that's what I'll use for full coverage. So that one's done. Started in February 2016 and finished in May 2017. I also started on, finished, sorry, To Have and to Hold. The last time you saw it, it looked like this. And here's what it looks like now. Let's put something behind it. That's it there. Now, I changed the hair on the bride and the groom. I switched the colours. The light hair was going to be on the bride, and the dark hair was supposed to be on the groom. But in my husband's and my case, I'm darker than my husband because I'm Mediterranean and my husband's Australian. So I gave the groom lighter hair. Even though my husband shaves his head, so he doesn't actually have any hair, but anyway, I didn't really want to put a bald head there. And then just in the date is obviously customizable because everyone's going to have a different date to put there, but the sample only had the last 2 digits of the year, and I thought that was too informal for a wedding sampler, just in my opinion. So I did the full 2007 there. Now this is coming out backwards on my screen. I'm hoping that you can see it properly, but it says To Have and to Hold for as long as we both shall live, and the date is the 22nd of the 9th, 2007. In Australia we put the day before the month, so that's actually the 22nd of September 2007. So that's finished, and that was started in December 2016 and finished in May 2017. So I will now frame that. I don't know whether I'll get it professionally framed. I'll probably try and find a frame that I will, and I'll frame it myself. That was done on 28 count lamb's wool, which I got from 123 Stitch. So there it is again, and that's finished. And that's To Have and to Hold by Country Cottage Needleworks. And then I decided, well, since it's Mania, I should probably have a couple of new starts. But to make it easier on myself and not to increase my number of whips, I decided to work on my Singer sampler, Do Re Mi, by Silver Creek Samplers. So I started the Solar there, and I finished that, and then I started on Tido, and I finished that. So technically I had 2 new starts, but I also had 2 finishes. And that's now a full finish. So it's the whole Do Re Mi. I can't see what you're seeing. It's blocking my screen, so hopefully you can see all of this. Now, in here, that's actually my name there, Lorna. So although you can't really see it well on camera, I may change that out because it's not very clear. The green doesn't really show up very well on the brown there. But and then here you're supposed to put the date that you finished the sampler, but I put 2016 because last year my family and I went to Austria. I can't remember the exact suburb in Austria, but it was where Sound of Music with Julie Andrews was filmed, and I visited a lot of the sites that were actually seen in the movie there, and that's the date that we went, was 2016. So just to make it, just to remind myself when I actually stitched it, I put 2017 at the end there. So that is it there. And that's on 32 count lamb's wool linen. And that, I really enjoyed that. It was a lot of fun. Even though samplers aren't usually my thing, I think I'm starting to like them more and more. Please excuse me, I can just hear my daughter crying. Sorry about that. I now have a co-host. This is Heidi. My daughter, put your tongue away. Do you want to say hello to everyone?
Yeah.
Say hi.
Hi.
Hi, FlossTube.
Hi, FlossTube.
Okay. Do you want to go and play, or do you want to stay here?
I'll stay here.
Okay, stay with Mum. Alright. So the other thing that I worked on was Happily Ever After, which looked like this the last time you saw it.
Yeah.
And here is what it looks like now.
Yeah. Yes, Mum.
Yeah, just be quiet though.
They do.
And that's Robin Hood there for May in the May block.
So we need some flowers.
You're going to be quiet?
Yeah.
This is on 28 count Opal Lugana.
Yeah.
And it's the colourway
So we need some.
Ice Ice Baby.
So we need some flowers.
Ice Ice Baby by Colour Cascade Fabrics. And that's Happily Ever After by the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. So that's completely up to date except for the border, which I'll just do as we go. And then the last thing I worked on was Travel Through Europe, which is being put out by DMC Portugal and DMC Spain. And last time you saw it, it looked like this. And here's what it looks like now.
Yes. That's good.
So I finished London. I can't remember where I was last time, but I finished London. Brussels has just been released, so I'll be working on that in the next couple of days.
Yes.
And that's it there. I haven't finished St. Petersburg here. I'm still tossing into, sorry, it's actually charted to be Moscow, but I was thinking of changing it to St. Petersburg because I've never been to Moscow, but I have been to St. Petersburg. I may change my mind about that. I'm not quite sure yet, but that's how it is at the moment, and that's being done on just a spare piece of 14 count Ada that I had in my stash.
Mum.
That was actually pulled out of my my Kingdom of Books piece. So that's it there.
Can we put some stars?
Yeah, later, darling.
No.
And then I just had a little bit of stash. On Stash Unload, I found this called Yesteryear by Little House Needleworks. My dad is actually turning 70 at the end of this year.
My dad.
Your nunnu. He's your nunnu, isn't he?
No, it's mine.
And I thought this might be a good one to do for him. I wasn't going to do anything for him.
Mummy, it's my
I don't
dad.
know yet. I might just do this. I don't know yet. But that's, excuse me, that's that one. And I also found At the Met by Mirabilia on Stash Unload. And the back, that's actually MD135. And it says at the back, the stage is set for the premiere of Mozart's Don Giovanni as an enigmatic woman enters the Metropolitan Opera House. The crowd parting before her as she glides up the lavish red and gold staircase towards the most expensive seats in the house. Read more about At the Met inside. This one uses DMC, Karen Water Lilies, One Chronic, and Mill Hill Beads and Treasures. So, and I've seen several people do this. There's even a conversion to white that I've seen on here, which looks really nice. I'm still not sure about what I'll do. I'll probably still stitch it in the way it's charted, but I will definitely change the fabric it's worked on. This one uses chocolate linen. It's funny, it says the model was stitched on 32 count.
Here I am.
Alternative
Here I
fabric
am.
is 14 count. So I like doing my, well, the one I'm doing is on 32 count, but I promised myself that if I ever did another stitching project, I would do it on 28 count because the mill-heel beads sit better on 28 count than on 32 count. So I would use 28 count, but I'd also get probably a nicer fabric than that one. Not that that's not nice, but I like to get a little bit of hand dyed in there if I can. So that's that one. No plans to start it just yet. I've got too much on. But while we're in Brisbane, I looked up to see whether there were any needle workshops up there, and I came across one called All Threads, which is in Norman Park. I'll link the details below. And it was actually an embroidery shop, but they had a lot of cross stitch as well. And I got a couple of Krennics. That's number 051HL High Luster. It's a blending filament, and this one is 002V blending filament. Was it blending filament?
Yeah.
And it's a gold. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna see. I haven't actually looked yet, but I'm gonna see if these will replace the metallic thread that's in the Boy King kit that I made a UFO because of the metallic thread in it. So I'll see if they fit. If not, then I'll try again. But I figured blue and gold were probably colours that I could use again anyway. So even if they don't go with that kit, I'll be able to use them again. And then All Threads also was selling Strawberry Fields Forever by Blackbird Designs. And like I said, I'm feeling myself starting move towards samplers more. My tastes are changing, and I really like this. When I saw it, and I've seen at least one other person on FlossTube stitch this, and it looks amazing. And I think when I saw it up close, it really hit home how much I like it. So that's beautiful. I wasn't able to get it on 123 stitch. I don't know if it's out of print or out of stock or what, but I know they don't have it. But so when I saw it there, I snapped it up. It was only $15. And I figured that since it was the day after Mother's Day, it's a Mother's Day present for me. So my husband didn't get me anything, but we did spend the day together and we went out and that kind of thing. But I thought, why not? So that's that one. Really like that one. It's chartered for Gentle Arts and Weeks Dye Works, but it gives you a DMC alternative for all of them. So I'll see. Just going back to Do Re Mi or Singer Sampler, this one. This is all chartered in Gentle Arts and Weeks Dye Works. The Gentle Arts, you can definitely see. Heidi?
No, I'm just talking.
The Gentle Arts, you can definitely see the variegation in them. But the Weeks Dye Works, I couldn't see much variegation in it at all. So I think if I had to do this again, I'd leave the Gentle Arts, but I'd switch out the Weeks Dye Works for DMC.
Reading my hat.
All right. The one other change I made to this one is just in the last panel. All of the panels have these little motifs. They all seem to have that there, and they're all done in Gentle Arts wood rose. This particular one here was actually chartered to be in this, which is Grecian Gold. Also General Arts. But I changed it to wood rose as well, just to make it fit. The rabbits or the bunnies' ears are also done in wood rose, so I don't know whether they changed it because of that or whether it was an error. I don't think it was an error because the sample or the model is actually stitched in the Grecian Gold as well, but I thought to fit in with the others I just made it wood rose, so I think either way it'll look fine. But so yeah, that's just the only changes I made in that. Again, the name is completely customizable, so you put in your own name or whoever you're stitching it for, I guess. The date is also customizable. The only thing that I found interesting, these are put out in 4 different charts, and the numbers were actually in chart number 2, even though you stitch the numbers in chart number 3. So I think if you were gonna, I think you really do, I mean, you can always make up those numbers, they're not that hard, but I really think this is one that you can't sort of buy one and not the other 3. You kind of do need the whole thing, unless you were going to do one motif on its own. But yeah, that's that. Plans for the rest of May. I will get back to travel through Europe and finish at least the Brussels block, hopefully, and maybe go back to the Moscow or St. Petersburg block. I pulled out today Cinderella on the Stairs. I haven't actually started working on it, but I'm feeling the urge to go back to it, so I may pull that out again. I like to do at least one weekend a month of Juliet, and I haven't done that yet, so maybe I'll do that this weekend. I'd like to pull out Lady of the Mist as well, so if there's time I'll pull that out as well. I'm thinking of making June my Lady of the Mist month, and I'll just focus on that and work on that for at least a week, just to get more work on it. Sorry, just one more thing. I didn't have any Q&A in my last video, but if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below and I'll answer them in my next video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye.